I always knew that I wanted to become a mom, and the day that Sophie came into our lives was one of the best days of our lives. She is such a joy, and every day that she's with us, she has continued to bring more joy into our lives in ways that I can't even describe.
You know, you kind of hear the word unconditional love go around quite a bit, but until you have a child, you don't really know what that means. A father and daughter have a special bond, and Sophie and I definitely have a special bond.
Sophie was 13 months when she was diagnosed with what was called acute myeloid leukemia. It was the worst moment that you could ever imagine. She never left the hospital from when we went into the emergency room that night until she was discharged when she was 18 months. She needed to do 4 rounds of chemotherapy.
Our focus then was just making sure the stay was enjoyable as possible for Sophie, and that she felt loved and supported, and just that she felt safe.
When you're an inpatient in the hospital for 5 months, it's not just about your child and your family. In the next room beside you is another child and another family who are going through something similar to you. And in that intense environment, those people become your family too. So we've seen firsthand the worst case scenario for a number of people who have become our family and their children. And children that were supposed to go on camping trips with us, and they were supposed to go to Disneyland with us when we all got out of hospital, are not able to do that because their outcomes were not successful. And that is why it is so important for us to sit here today and make this video, because those children need more research for better treatments, better therapies, better ways of being able to combat pediatric cancer. When you walk out of the hospital, in one hand you think that you should be all done and you're done your inpatient treatment, but it almost starts another part of your cancer journey with your child.
We were happy to get home, but not quite sure what the future brings.
There was kind of this, we should be expected to feel overwhelmed with joy and so happy, but really it was almost like a continuation of the fear, because every month we had to go for a checkup with Sophie, you know, where we sat down with a doctor and held each other's hand and prayed that the results on that piece of paper were good numbers in terms of her blood. And that kind of bought us another month. And we were kind of living month to month like that. And there were times when her numbers weren't good, and we had to navigate that with our doctors. The reality is that children who have had such high doses of chemotherapy to cure the cancer are also at risk for developing other cancers as a result of the chemotherapy. And that's really why it's so important for continued research, so that therapies can be found that not only treat the cancer, but not give these side effects to children that they will have to deal with for the rest of their lives.
It was always our intention to have another child, so we're quite fortunate that we welcomed Grayson in March.
Sophie has just been the most loving big sister we could have imagined. She's just starting to go up to him and smile at him, and he'll smile back and laugh back, and it just warms your heart so much. She's very, very compassionate and loving, and very quick to make sure that he's okay and take care of him in a kind of protective big sister way, which I think is based a lot on her own experience too. Sophie's story is a story of success, but what could make her story and story for other children even more successful is better therapies, less invasive chemo, better treatment methods that come from research that is so important from donors who give so generously.
Our daughter is, living proof that the money that you're donating is going to good use and it's working. So thank you.
Thank you for donating to BC Children's Hospital.